Hey everybody, today we are talking about Sea Change by Gina Chung. Sea Change is about a character named Ro who is just entering into her 30s and works at an aquarium and is really just trying to get her life sorted as a 30-year-old. Our main character, Aurora, or Ro for short, is employed at the aquarium where her father used to work and first took her to the aquarium when she was 10-ish and introduced her to a really cool octopus named Dolores. And ever since then, she was very intrigued by this octopus and loved visiting her. And at the time of her growing up and deciding what she wanted to do with her life, she ended up deciding to work at the aquarium. Now, the thing that makes this a little bit complicated is that her father also worked there, but when she was a teenager, he disappeared. He went into this certain part of the ocean that was known to be kind of a dangerous area, but that is where they found Dolores in the first place, and he wanted to go back and explore there further to see if he could find more unique, interesting animals, species that had abnormalities from your normal animals and sea creatures that you would normally find in other parts of the ocean. For example, Dolores, she's very huge and she can like turn colors and stuff like that, and she just has some characteristics that are not the typical things that you would always see. This is just all of the things that fascinates Ro's father, and so that's why he went to go explore more, see if he could find more like Dolores, just getting more knowledge. And one time he just didn't come home, and so the idea is that the ship was wrecked and that he probably died at sea. But of course there's no proof because they've never found any, and so could he still be alive somewhere stranded out there or making his way somewhere else? Or but at this point it's been years. She is now a grown adult and he's still missing, and so it's probably safe to say that he's not going to be returning, and that really upsets her because she hopes still deep down that one day her father will still come back and like things will get better. Her father and her mother fought often when she was growing up, and so the dynamic was really not great. And once he left, things also didn't just automatically get better either, and so there was kind of this strain between her and her mom. So a lot of the stuff that you will get in this book is family drama. I wouldn't necessarily say drama, it's not super dramatic, it's just, you know, you have these typical issues. A lot of families have issues, and these ones are revolving around her father leaving on this big voyage, and the relationship between her and her mom before and after he was gone. And so we get a lot of that, but also she just recently broke up with her boyfriend because he actually got accepted into the mission for potentially going to Mars. And so he had to go into this training where they try to simulate what it would be like to be on Mars so that they can prepare and then eventually go to Mars and see if there is potential to create life there or to sustain human life there. Could we end up like saving humanity by putting them on another planet? And so she thinks it's kind of ridiculous. She doesn't think that he's actually going to get in the program, but then he ends up getting into it, and so he has to go to a completely different state to go, I'm pretty sure, to a totally different state to be a part of this like preparation for the mission. And so they end things. She's still dealing with a lot of that throughout the book as well. So she has that, and then she also has her whole family stuff, and it's starting to wear on her, and people around her are starting to become impatient with her as well. She has a best friend who also works at the aquarium, and they used to be really close, but then in her adult years, and much more recently, after the breakup with her boyfriend, she hasn't been the best friend. She hasn't been the best, like, she just doesn't really care about a lot of stuff anymore. You know, kind of a woe is me thing going on. So if you are reading this, those are some things to kind of expect. It's going to be a lot of things relating to her relationship with the people around her, mainly her family and her friend, and then flashbacks to when she was with her boyfriend, so that you can also see how she was with him. And then of course we do get Dolores in a lot of things, and how Dolores is important in Ro's life. And honestly, I love this cover, and it made me feel like Dolores was going to be in it a little bit more than she actually was. She definitely was in it throughout the book, but the middle section, we kind of go away from her. She's not really the main focus for that part, and then she kind of comes back near the end, and everything is definitely really important in terms of her being a big focal point in this story. But I just think it would have been even more fun to have had more memories, flashbacks, more recent current things as well that revolved around Dolores. And if there was a way to work her into it even more, I think that would have been cool. But overall, I really did like this book. I didn't have a hard time reading through it. It was paced really well. So if you really rely on, like, okay, is this story gonna drag? Am I gonna get stuck in any sections where I'm kind of like, ugh? I don't think so. That never happened to me. I was able to flow, like the flow was really good. And there wasn't really too much of, I know I did say like the whole woe is me thing, and yes, sometimes that comes off a little strong where it's just like, oh, her life sucks, like everyone feel bad for her. But I have read other books where it's a lot worse, to where the point where it's annoying, where you're just like, get over it, you know? But it wasn't as like problematic as it could have been. She was dealing with real things and real, like, just growing up without a dad and not ever having that closure of being able to say goodbye when they always thought he was going to come back and then he didn't. It was just kind of like, is he still out there? And like, how do I really not let this affect the rest of my life? And so obviously she's going to have some of that is going to be affecting her in her life. And I don't think she became unlikable, is what I'm saying. So I think that if anything was intriguing to you that I mentioned, I think that she is still a likable character, even with all of her flaws or her problems or whatever. I think that the story does come to a pretty good conclusion. There weren't anything that the author tried to put in there to please the audience, like, oh, wouldn't it be great if this happened, or wouldn't it be great if that didn't happen, or like, she doesn't do any of that. She keeps it pretty real, and I liked that as well. It wasn't cheesy, it wasn't unbelievable. Sometimes I feel like it's really easy to fall into that when you're writing fiction, to where it's like, maybe I should do this and it will please the reader more. Like, she didn't do any of that, and I appreciated it for it. I liked it how it was, and I think if she had done things differently and resolved things in a different way, that it just might have felt more like, meh, probably didn't need to do that. Like, I don't know. Anyways, it'll probably make more sense what I'm saying now if you just read it, because I just don't want to be too spoilery about the specific details that I'm saying. You know what I mean, right? I don't really have any negative things to say about it, really, besides just maybe having more of Dolores would have been cool. But again, I'm not really complaining about that. I just, it's just something that could have been cool. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you want to like and subscribe to this video, feel free. I'm not going to pressure you to do it, but I do appreciate those of you that have been with me since the beginning, and I'm so surprised at how many subscribers that I do have, and how many people are watching my videos. I really do appreciate all of it. Like, I thought maybe this would just be a channel for myself, but it has grown more than I expected it to, and I'm just so grateful every time I get a comment on my videos to be able to respond to everybody. I think that's great, being able to hear your opinions. So for sure, leave a comment and I will absolutely respond to you. And yeah, especially if you're still listening by the end of the video at this point in time where I'm not really saying anything important anymore. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I really do. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.